Who are the Las Vegas Raiders going to pick in the first round of the 2024 NFL Draft? Many want the Raiders to go ahead and sell the farm to get quarterback Jaden Daniels. There are also those that want the Raiders to sell the farm to move up for another quarterback like Drake May or J.J. McCarthy. Aiden O'Connell has some fans too, and they want the Raiders to stay with him at quarterback and build the offensive line. Then there are some that want the Raiders to take a corner to make their defense even harder to score on than it'll already be this upcoming year. Those of you that have been watching me know I've wanted the Raiders to take Michael Penix for a while now. That hasn't changed. This is my final case for the Raiders to take Penix at number 13 overall. Everyone wants to talk risk when it comes to Penix because of his injury history. His health checked out at the combine and he managed to stay healthy his last 2 years of college, so he shouldn't be considered that big of a risk. Every pick has some risk to it anyway. Does Daniel's slight build not make him a risk? How about the fact that he took some huge hits in college that could have had him out for a long time in the NFL? Listen, I'm not trying to say the Raiders shouldn't want Daniels. I wouldn't be mad if they traded up for him. I'm just saying there's a risk to him too. If you think about it, there's a lot more risk in taking Daniels than there is taking Penix. How? To get Daniels, you have to give up 3 first-round picks and then some. If he bombs out, that's 3 first-round picks that you're not going to get to make up for him. If Penix bombs out, the Raiders still have those first-round picks the next 3 years to try to make up for it. So from that standpoint right there, Daniels is a much bigger risk. The potential upside is there for both of these guys to be future superstar signal callers too. I'm still trying to figure out why the media doesn't give Penix credit for his upside while admitting he's the best thrower of the football in this class. Throwing the football, especially in today's game, is still the most important thing for a quarterback, right? Many like to say he can't run because of his numbers running the football, but he doesn't look to run the football. He actually moves well, but does so with the intent of finding an open receiver downfield instead. Penix is really good at keeping his eyes down the field while on the move. He does that better than the other quarterbacks in this draft. That's an important skill to have in the NFL as a quarterback because you'll have to move as a result of pressure a lot. He showed in the college playoffs against Texas that he's a really good scrambler that can run the ball when he needs to. He showed he has great speed for a quarterback with the 4.4 640 at his pro day too. So what happened against Michigan in the national championship game back in January? He played with a sprained ankle and a rib injury. Most quarterbacks get credit for playing with all of that, but apparently not Penix. Did you ever think all those injuries he had in college could have made him a better quarterback for the NFL? Think about it. A running or dual threat quarterback has never won a Super Bowl. Lamar Jackson is even learning to be more of a pocket passer, and he'll have to master it to win one. Patrick Mahomes, who's won 3 of the last 5 Super Bowls as a pocket passer first. He scrambles to find receivers open down the field first. Running is a last resort. That'll be a big factor toward his longevity. Robert Griffin III lit the NFL on fire until he started getting hurt. A bigger, stronger Cam Newton lasted longer than Griffin, but his body started breaking down too. Penix was more of a running quarterback in Indiana, but when he got to Washington, he seemed to have learned from his injuries. He learned to keep his head up and eyes looking down the field when he was on the move and not to run unless he absolutely had to. He learned how to slide within the pocket too. That's why he was second to only Bo Nix in this draft class in pressure to sack rate last year. He's become the kind of quarterback the Raiders need. And of course, most importantly, Penix is a winner. Coming up short in the national championship game doesn't mean he's anything short of that. He can go to a place that isn't looking so hot and help turn things around. In 2020, when he was still in Indiana, he led his team to a victory over Michigan for the first time in 24 years. I believe that was a big part of why Michigan forced Jim Harbaugh to accept a pay cut back then. Either way, Penix led the way with 342 yards and 3 touchdowns. That big win put his Indiana squad at 3-0, but unfortunately that was one of the 4 times he had a season-ending injury, so he couldn't see that season through. Let there be no question about his mental toughness or how he handles adversity. His best turnaround act came after he transferred to Washington. The team was 4-8 in 2021, and he came in and led them to an 11-2 record in 2022 and a 14-1 record in the national championship game in 2023. In the process, Penix became the first college quarterback to throw for over 4,600 yards in back-to-back seasons since Patrick Mahomes. Penix is the best thrower of the football in this draft class, and he ran a 4.4 640. Other quarterbacks just say they run this or that. Penix did it. I've already shown you on film where he's very elusive in and out of the pocket, but his upside gets downgraded. He started off a running quarterback, then after a few injuries, he learned how to win from the pocket. Media scouts forgot he can run until his college playoff game against Texas. After the national championship game, they forgot he could run again. Then he reminded them again when he ran that 4.46 in his pro day. That's why I believe the Raiders should take Penix at number 13 overall. Thank you for watching. See you next time.